Coming up next is Dr. Kimberly Taylor. Here's your chance to talk about what matters to you. Although you will receive helpful advice from Dr. Taylor, remember, this is not to be construed as a form of psychotherapy, diagnosis, or treatment, and cannot replace a therapeutic relationship with a mental health professional. You can reach Dr. Taylor by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290. You can also listen live on the internet at drkimtaylorshow.com. So here now is Dr. Kimberly Taylor.
Have you woken up with an attitude of gratitude? Would you like to be happier, healthier, more positive, and motivated in your life? Well, the research shows the people who practice gratitude on a daily basis are capable of being 25% happier. So, just by being grateful, we can be happier. Imagine that. We can change how we feel by changing how we think and how we perceive our experiences in life. Now, as you've heard me say on this program many times before, no one else has to change in order for you to get better. If you want to feel better, you can. The power is within you. It's what I call an inside job. And I think that this issue of gratitude is very poignant this time of year, given that we are moving into the holiday season. It's a time of year we're supposed to look forward to that perfect Norman Rockwell holiday. And we're supposed to feel all this happiness and anticipation. And for many, the holiday season can be happy and joyful. But for others, it can be difficult and sad, leading to the feelings of depression and the holiday blues. Unrealistic expectations, overwork, loneliness, and resentment can all contribute to these feelings of depression around the holidays. But taking on an attitude of gratitude will help you get through the holidays intact. So a common method to develop the practice of gratitude is to keep a daily gratitude journal. This exercise basically consists of writing down every day a list of at least 5, but it certainly can be more, but at least 5 things for which you are grateful for. People who keep a gratitude journal of what they're thankful for report having more energy, their mood changes and they feel better, there's more satisfaction with life, and they're more supportive of others. Why? Well, it helps us to focus on the positive things that happen to us throughout the day. It helps us cope with difficult situations, and it also helps us to access positive memories. So even something as small as showing appreciation or saying thank you to someone who has done a good job is a way of showing gratitude and promoting good mental health. The truth is once you become focused on looking for things to be grateful for, you will find that you begin to appreciate simple pleasures and embrace things that you previously took for granted. So this holiday season, when you're with your family and friends, look for the love that is there. Often we are blinded by our need to receive love in a certain way in order for us to feel loved. And unless it is delivered in the package we want, we can often miss out on feeling any love at all. I use the analogy of apples and oranges with my clients. If you are needing love in the form of apples and your family member only gives you oranges, you may feel rejected and say, I will not believe you love me unless you give me apples. Because they do love you, they look in their baskets, but all they have are oranges, so they give you more oranges. If they had apples, they would give you apples, but all they have are oranges. So you end up feeling rejected and in turn reject them. So next time, try standing back and looking at what they do have to offer. Choose to see it as love. Be grateful for what they can offer and stop insisting that the only form of love that you will ever accept has to come in apple form. Gratitude shouldn't be just a reaction to getting what you want, but an all-the-time gratitude, the kind where you notice the little things and where you constantly look for the good even in unpleasant situations. So today, start bringing gratitude to your experiences. Instead of waiting for a positive experience in order to feel grateful, start giving thanks for everything and start noticing and appreciating each day's gift. Let yourself awaken to the transforming power of gratefulness. I'm going to be here every Thursday afternoon, and so I invite you to give me a call. If there's something on your mind, or if you just want to call in and tell us what you are grateful for, pick up the phone. You can reach me at 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290. I'll be right back. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290.
You are listening to Dr. Kimberly Taylor. You can reach her by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290.
We are back here with Sandy Jacoy, who is my screener here, and talking about grateful. I certainly will say I'm very grateful to have you with us and have you part of the show and have you the one answering the questions out there. So we're talking about gratitude. What is it like at your house during the holidays?
Oh, wow. I was not expecting that question. Holidays are a good time in our life. So it can be a little chaotic, and sometimes dealing with certain personalities can be challenging. But I can say, as you were reading about gratitude and how important it is, it certainly makes me reflect on this time of year about how grateful I am for the people that are in my life. Even if they do drive me crazy.
Yes, well, yes. I think as we sometimes expect that we should have that perfect holiday, the perfect family, the Norman Rockwell experience often turns into a bit of chaos. So I just think this is a really good time of year to kind of step back and see that there are things that you can actually do, that you can change, that you can choose to look at it in a new way. And it will help you to get through, because sometimes it isn't easy.
Yeah, and when you were talking about journaling, I was thinking to myself, there's how many times in a day do I think to myself as I'm going through, I really need to set the time aside to do something like that. And this month, I don't know if you know, Kim, but this month is Gratitude Month in the 12-step programs.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they part of that reflection is really to try to take a different kind of assess the year as it's winding up, and being able to find specific things that you can be grateful for. But sometimes writing it down and making an intentional effort to acknowledge those things is really difficult to do. It gets really, because of how busy we can get. So I'm wondering, I saw something in one of those news articles recently, something about smiling. And, I wanted to find out what you know about that, because I tried it as an experiment, that if you smile a little bit, somehow things change. And I have to tell you, I was very skeptical.
It works.
It worked.
It works. Yeah.
What is it with that?
Well, part of it is they've done a lot of studies, and they find that people who smile more actually live longer. Not just feel better, they live longer.
Do they know what I mean, it sounds so patronizing, because how many people walk around with a big smile on their face, like, hi, yes, I'm fine. The kind of smiles you see in the South.
Yeah, that's
right?
Like, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, but I'm really not. Yes.
Right.
Well, what we do know is that smiles are linked to positive emotions, which in turn then is linked to physical and emotional health.
So is it big? What does it look like? How do you practice that?
Well, part of it, I think, is being able to choose to see what is there versus what is not there. Because often we're looking at the world and all the things that it doesn't have for us, or all the people who are lacking for us. And if we can just turn that around and choose to see what is good. And sometimes it is even to the point, because there's nothing that you're seeing that's good. But even if you look and say, oh, I like their shoes. I'm grateful that they have a nice pair of shoes on. Just small things can just help you so that your mind starts to focus and then eventually starts to look for the positive, instead of always that what it does most of the time is it zeroes in on the negative.
Oh, right. Absolutely. And so just the smile in itself, are you saying, is that starts to change the way you see things, the filtering through your eyes, your worldview, if you will, in that day, being able to look through things. So I'm going to try that a lot. I'm going to try that this Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving can be difficult sometimes because I don't cook well. And so there can be a lot of chaos. Yeah, you didn't know that.
Like I didn't know that one.
So I'm going to do it with a smile.
Yes.
And see if I can't see that through a different lens.
Yeah, because probably if you are smiling and thinking it's really good, then other people are going to go, well, it must be really good.
I don't usually
gonna
see
help.
smiles.
I
I
know.
see like noses turned up, and but it's okay. Everybody eats it anyways. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's about being together.
Yeah. Well, and I think sometimes that this is the time of year also that for some people who it may be the first holiday that they're going through after a loss of a loved one, or for me, after sending a kid off to New York City, and it's the first Thanksgiving that she's actually not going to be home. So it's dealing with those kinds of things that you still need to find something to be grateful for. And I think it's a good time maybe to even write those notes, those letters to people who you do care about, who have meant something, who are a part of your support system, who you do care about. It is a good time to make note of that and send those notes. Don't just think them. Send them, write them down, and send them off to people, because it is a time and a season to be thankful, even when things are difficult.
Right. Everybody can find something to be grateful for.
Sometimes it's hard, but the more you do it, the better you'll get out. The better you will get at it. And I will guarantee you that if you do this for 30 days, that every day you write down at least 5 things, by the end of the month, you actually will feel better.
Okay, that sounded like a double dog dare to me. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to take you up on 30
Do it.
days.
30 days.
If I write something down that I'm grateful for every day for 30 days, do I have to have a certain number? Is I just
Do at least 5.
okay? I'm coming back. I'm holding you to this.
Even if it means once in a while you're writing down, I'm grateful I have a pen and pencil.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. I'm
Write
grateful
it
that I
down.
made this commitment on the radio to come in and do this, and now I've got to be held to it. Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
going to hold you to that. I'm going to try that.
What it does is it starts to train your brain, and then you will find that you are picking things out during your day because you know you have to write them down at night.
So you're kind of looking for that.
Yeah.
I'll be looking for those
Yes,
things.
your brain is going to automatically start to do this. And when you're focusing on things that you are grateful for, that make you happy, that are pleasant, it's going to change your mood.
Yeah.
It's going to change how you see the world.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's a real good thing.
And I think that we can teach our kids this too. Because I think when we teach them at a very young age to look for what they're grateful for, it's a valuable lesson for them for the rest of their life. Do you know that book that our kids always read? Where's Waldo? Mm-hmm. Okay, our family, we have a new thing that it's called not finding Waldo, but finding grace.
Wow.
So, in a hard place, a difficult situation, find the grace.
I like that.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
So what are you grateful for this holiday season?
I have a lot to be grateful for. I am grateful for you. I am grateful that there's a audience out there, that I get to do something new in my life. I am extremely grateful for my support system, my cheerleaders, my tribe, as I call them.
Your posse.
Yeah. So I have a lot to be grateful for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
All right, we are going to take a short break here, but we're going to come back and we are going to take your calls. What I do want to say is if there is something that you are grateful for that you would like to share, please give us a call. We would love to hear from you. You can reach us at
866
866-564-1290.
1290.
And Sandy, you had...
I do. I would also like to remind everybody that and let you know that if you don't get a chance to get through today, if you call in and Kim is too busy to take your call, or maybe have a little bit of fear about calling in and hearing yourself on the radio, we want you to know that on Sundays between 10 and 3 p.m., you can call 805-699-5821, and you can get that number off the drkimtaylorshow.com. You can talk to her through that or
Right.
get that information through there.
I'm going to be taking calls on that day, too.
Yeah, just want to remind everybody.
Oh,
And
okay.
happy holidays.
Thank you, and happy holidays to you and the rest of you out there, too. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290.
You are listening to Dr. Kimberly Taylor. You can reach her by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290.
Hi, this is Dr. Kim, and we're on the phone now with Molly. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Dr. Taylor. Thanks for taking my call today. I had a question. I've been really struggling with driving lately. I have an extreme fear of drive-by shootings, and I'm noticing it more and more when I get on the freeway. If somebody is just turning on their lights, I think maybe they're flashing them at me like a gang sign or something. And I did have a friend who was killed in a drive-by shooting a couple years ago, and so now when I see, a new story on the news about it or whatever, I just start panicking. I'm fine, like on the local streets, but when I get on a freeway and I see, just somebody with their window rolled down or whatever, I just freeze and think they're going to get me.
Okay. And did this all start when your friend died?
Yes, that's when it really started. It got a lot worse after that, and it just seems like more and more I see stuff on the news about it, and so I'm not so bad during the day. I'm okay, but if I have to do a road trip or something at night on the freeway, I just think that I just panic, thinking that looking at every car, thinking one of them might shoot me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And when you have that thought, what are you feeling about while you're in the car?
I just start panicking. I start feeling very, very out of control, very scared. I just want to pull over. And in my mind, I'm thinking, Molly, stop it. I know, like, it's ridiculous and there's nothing I can do about it, but I just start, like, my hands start, get real clammy and my heart's pounding. And
Okay, so you are definitely starting to have a panic attack. You're starting to kind of build up to that with this anxiety and this fear around it. When your friend was killed, this was a very random act, correct? It wasn't...
yes, totally random.
Okay, that these kinds of random acts can happen. That is a part of our life. It's part of the life that we live in, and we certainly do hear it on the news all the time. Have you ever tried to calm yourself down while you're in it?
I do. I do. I will usually just crank up my music, try to find, a CD or a song or something maybe that I like a lot, and I kind of talk myself through it. I really, it's not like I will still drive wherever I need to go, but sometimes it's worse than others. Like I said, the other day I was coming home from work and somebody flashed their lights, or I thought they did, but I realized they might have just been turning their lights on. But it just panicked me. And the whole way home, every time I would change lanes, it seemed like they would change lanes, and it just brought back all the memories of losing my friend, and then, just that fear that it could happen to me.
You are fearing that things are out of control, that there are things that you cannot manage, that there are things that will happen to you that you will have no way to change. Are there other things in your life that you're feeling out of control about?
Yes, a lot of things.
Okay, tell me about those.
Well, I think just choices maybe some choices or things that I wanted, sometimes they just didn't go the way I had hoped, or, just things in general I feel like sometimes are out of control, like maybe health things or money things, just day-to-day problems and stresses of having to do things sometimes that I just don't want to, and knowing that there's no choices. So that is how I think even as I've gotten older, it's even harder to accept.
Okay, but there are actually things that we can control. Some of the things that you're feeling really anxious about are perhaps some of the things that you don't control that are more random in life. But I'm wondering if part of the things that is happening to you right now is that there are things currently in your life that maybe need more of your attention, and that for you to have more of a sense of control about them. And even if it is finances, it's about planning, it's about budgeting to make you feel and put you back in a place of feeling, well, at least I am managing it. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm doing what I can do in the present moment.
Yeah, I think that would make a big difference if I felt more like, I'm doing these things, but there is a little more of a payoff, or I can feel a little more contentment about I have some say-so in these things, or I'm managing, just that I'm managing budget and everything better.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to help you to just have a certain degree of safety within yourself so that you can trust yourself to handle the things that you do control, so that when you have to deal with the things that are random in life or that you don't control, you can still learn to trust yourself to be able to handle it should it come up. Because right now it sounds like what you've done is that a lot of your fears have just kind of gotten projected onto this drive-by and the fear that someone is out there to get you. Because number one, it did happen to a friend of yours, so there is a bit of reality in that. Two, there are things in life that happen that we don't know and that just come out of the blue.
Okay. I think that's a very good point. I'm really going to work on it, because I think that it's not just that one incident. It's basically, I think fear controls a lot about me, and it's not a good way to live. So rationally I know that, but it's been tough for me to, I keep going and I still do the things that I know I want to do or need to do, but there's still always that fear of, am I really capable, or can it really happen for me, that type of thing.
Well, and the fact that if it actually did not happen to someone that you know, but you're just kind of picking this up as a way to work through fearful feelings that you are having, but they're misdirected. It's not really the fear of the drive-by shooting. It's being caught off guard. It's being caught doing something and getting hurt for it because you were not paying attention.
Yes. Okay. Very good.
And so that's why I say it's important to look at what's going on in your own life that you may not be paying attention to, because it does make you fearful, because it is uncomfortable. Once you start to look at that and face your fear and do what you can do, the fear just starts to dissipate.
Okay. Well, that was really helpful. I'm really gonna work on it, because I do want to be free of that scared feeling that I have inside.
So break it down into manageable pieces. See that it probably does connect to other areas of your life in which you are not tending to, which some part of your mind knows that you need to. Manage those. Feel good about yourself for what you can do.
Okay.
And most likely you're going to help in letting the fear go.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290. Hi, this is Kim Taylor, and we're on the phone with Mike. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. What's going on?
Well, I have a question for you. I just trying to figure out how to get out of this rut that I've been in, and I just can't seem to get out of it. I've had a few surgeries and quite a bit of pain, and it kind of limits me what I can do. But I'm just I need to figure out how to get back in the game.
Okay. So does that mean that you've been off work then for a while?
Yes, it's been about actually a couple of years now. They put me on disability.
Mm-hmm. Is this going to be an ongoing issue that you have to work around, or are you going to be able to get better and through the disability?
No, I think it's going to be for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to get a whole lot better.
Okay, so you're going to have changes from where you were before to what you can do now.
Yes, quite a bit. I was pretty active before, and now it just seems like I I can only stand on my feet for about, an hour, 2 hours a day, and then I have to put my feet up for a while, and it puts me down every day. I feel really depressed about it.
Mm-hmm. So you've kind of lost faith in yourself.
A little bit.
Okay. And yet, this would make somewhat of sense in that you can't just go back and pick up what you were doing. You have to actually reinvent something and create a whole change in your life.
Yes.
And so you've lost some belief in yourself. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I feel like it.
Okay. All right. So one of the things
it just very limits me what I can do, and I end up just laying around in bed because that's the most comfortable. But I feel really guilty when I do that, just because I've been so active.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've always been in the construction trades, and it just drives me crazy not doing anything.
Okay. So there is that part of you that definitely wants to get back to work, but you're having to deal with these new limitations that you have, and it's making it hard to figure out what the next step is going to be for you.
Yes.
Even though that you might not be the person that is out there in the field working, are there areas of your profession that you see that you could do that would keep you at a desk or keep you more in a place that you can still work but do it in a different way?
Well, it's very limited what I could do for a company that I could do that for. It's I can't sit at a desk all day either. I mean, I have to be up a little bit and down a little bit and be able to make my own schedule according to how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what kind of company would let me do that, really.
Well, you might not know that right now, but I think a good way to start all of this is to start, what are your gifts? What are the tools that you bring to your trade that you can do? And then what are the things that you're going to have to change so that it becomes more clear to you that you're going to have a flexible work hours. Maybe it means that you can work from home so that you might be able to work at night doing what you do, but you can, take some naps or rest during the day. But once you figure out what it is that you still can do, but that you also then set up what you need to do to take care of your disability, then it would be time to go out and find the place that fits for you. But if you edit it, and if you keep stopping yourself by saying, well, I can't find a boss who can do that, well, that's not true. There's lots of people who have flexible hours.
Yeah, I mean, I seem to have excuses for everything I think about.
Okay, so let's go to that point right now. What is the emptiness that you're dealing with right now that is
Just
causing
the
all
guilt.
these? Okay, tell me about the guilt. You feel bad because?
Well, just because I'm not getting anything accomplished. I'm not doing anything. I'm not. I just seem to make excuses and figure out that I'm just in too much pain to do a whole lot, and I just end up sitting around.
Okay, but the truth is, it sounds like that you have been in pain, that you have had to deal with new limitations in your own life. You actually need to see yourself in a whole different way than you've seen yourself. You've probably seen yourself as strong, capable, that you can go out there and you can just get the job done and the work done, and you didn't have to think about any of this.
That's correct.
So part of the adjustment you need to make is adjusting to what now is, different from what it has been. Just because you have this issue that's going on, whatever you've had the surgeries for and wherever the pain is, you don't have to have that define who you are. You are still who you are. This is just something that you need to look at that's going to help define where you're going.
Let's see.
Every one of us has defining moments in our life where somebody or something, if we let it, can let us feel a certain way or make us feel a certain way. But if you look at this situation as just another obstacle in your life, is that this is a moment that I have to decide, who am I going to be with this? How am I going to define myself so that I feel good about myself?
Okay. It does make sense.
Some people have these defining moments early on in their life, and they have to make this choice. Some people have them later on in life. But again, the same issue comes up. How are you going to define yourself? Don't let this define you. You choose how you're going to show up to handle this. Because once you do that and take a hold of feeling proud and feeling confident in how you've handled a very difficult situation, that's when your self-confidence is going to come back. That's when you're going to really start to feel good about yourself.
Past experience with my jobs. And
that's right.
it does make you feel really good. It feels like my body's ready to retire, but my mind still wants to work.
You still want to be out there giving and feeling purposeful and meaningful in your life. And you can still do that.
Okay.
Don't let...
You took me in the right direction, I think.
Okay, don't let this be the stopping place. Let this be the place that you need to find your new beginning. So that you can still feel like you have value and worth and that you can still give to the world.
Okay.
Because from what I'm hearing, that has always been what's made you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let that stop.
Okay, I will keep you updated.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, call her back and let me know how things are going.
I will. Thanks very much.
All right, Mike, thanks.
Bye.
Take care. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290.
You are listening to Dr. Kimberly Taylor. You can reach her by calling 564-1290 or toll free at 866-564-1290.
Hi, this is Dr. Kim, and we're on the phone with Julia. Hi.
Hi, Dr. Kim. I'm calling today about a problem that I'm having with money issues. The problem is that I work really hard. I currently have a full-time job, a part-time job, and then I pick up weekend work almost every weekend. So I'm working at least 50 hours a week, and so I work pretty hard for my money. And I budget to pay my bills, to put away for savings, and to even have a little extra for my own personal money. But my dilemma is that any time that I go to spend the money on myself, which is sometimes hard to find the time for, so I enjoy it, I feel incredibly guilty about spending that money and feel like I should just be saving it. And it's a constant dilemma in my head. Should I save it? Should I spend it? And the savings is almost to a hoarding point. So if I do spend it, I sometimes even take it back and return the things that I buy.
What kind of feelings come up when you spend on yourself?
Anxiety mostly, and guilt. Just feeling kind of like maybe if I save this money, I could buy something even greater, so I'll save it for a little longer. But then when I do that and I reach the goal or the amount that I would buy the bigger item with, I choose not to even buy that, so I just save it. And I have a good-sized savings account, and so there's no need. I mean, nothing's lacking financially. It's just I have I get really hard on myself spending money on personal items.
All right. So, in fact, you are really hard on yourself. I mean, you were working a lot of hours. You're working on the weekends. Sounds like you don't have a lot of time for yourself. When you finally go out and do something that would be nice for yourself, you then feel guilty.
I have no problem spending money on other people.
I bet that's very true.
Buying them gifts and doing things like that, but just when it comes to me.
Okay, so why do you think that you would need to punish yourself? Why don't you see yourself as deserving?
Well, I mean, and that's the dilemma. That's the debate that goes back in my head. I do tell myself, you deserve this, and you can have it, and you can afford it. And
okay, but I think that the most important thing is, what do you answer? What do you answer?
And then the other part of me says, no, put it away for a rainy day, or put it away for something more important. And then the more important thing hardly ever is me.
Okay, that's right. So what you're saying is that some part of you doesn't feel like you are important, doesn't feel like you can treat yourself, to be kind to yourself, that you probably think that You need to be taking care of everybody else before you can ever think about taking care of yourself. Do you know that when you go into a plane and the stewardess stands at the front of the plane and all those oxygen masks are going to drop down, and she says to the parents on the plane, make sure you put it on yourself first before you try and help your child. Why is that?
Yeah, so you can't help anybody unless you're taking care of you first.
Exactly.
You both go down. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So think about that you have to take care of yourself. And that small little voice in the back of your head that says that you are not deserving is not the truth. It's just a thought.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy.
But it's not the truth. So because you want to do well and because you want to help others, your tendency is to deprive yourself. Don't let that happen, or you'll never be able to be your best taking care of others. Because you will only...
I think it's a good lesson to learn now before I become a parent, and, life really starts becoming a lot more about somebody else.
That's
it's
right.
important to really get a grasp on that now.
That's
myself.
right. Because if you don't, you will just start to resent those who want so much and need so much. You have to take care of yourself first.
Yeah, I agree.
Until you really feel like you can treat yourself, that you are deserving, whatever you really have to give is not truly a gift, because there's going to be a string attached to that. You are needing them then to tell you that you are good enough.
Okay. So do you have any advice for what the first step should be? I hear that, and it makes sense, and I definitely, that's definitely one side of the debate, is telling myself that. So
okay, so to change is that you have to first identify the problem. And that what it is that it's really hard for you to feel that you are a deserving person, that you have value, and that you should be treated well. Then you have to start to acknowledge how that happens to you in your life. That even when you do buy something, it makes you feel guilty, which means that you feel bad because somehow you should not have done for yourself, you should have done for someone else. So the third step really to being able to change is to start to recognize in what situations that you do it, and then have a plan B. So something that you do instead. So each time you get yourself into this kind of thinking process, what do you think that you could say to yourself that would soothe that part of you that doesn't feel like you're good enough, and to have a voice that is there that whispers in your ear and says that you are? What would that voice say? What would it sound like?
I think it would say, you work hard and you provide a lot for others, and now it's your turn.
That is a great plan, and that you have to then not just say it once, but say it every time, in every moment that you start to feel bad, so that you are soothing that part of you that needs to be healed, that needs to hear and know that there is a part of you that does see you as good and will treat you well, and that your job here is not just to treat everyone else well and to punish yourself or deprive yourself.
I will. Thank you, Dr. Kim.
Okay. Take care. Thanks for calling in.
Bye-bye.
I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290. So here's an email that we're going to go to that just came in. It's, what do you tell parents who hover over their children who are off to college and try to still micromanage them from a distance? I know many universities are trying to confront the problem of parents refusing to let go, and because of the easy access with today's texting and phones and computers and Skype, etc., parents have too much access. What about children who rely too heavily on their parents? Please help. Signed, Sandy. Sandy, it is hard that this letting go, finding independence, it's never an easy task for parents or kids during this transitional time in a family's life. But one thing I do know for sure, having gone through this myself, is that parents need to deal with their own anxieties and not put it onto the child by making unreasonable demands and or even needing them to check in all the time. Because you worrying that they are not handling their life will only make them doubt themselves. Going off to college is really a time where parents need to step back and let their child lead the way. It's a time in their lives that they need to find their own way. They need to see who they are separate from their parents. And they can only do this if they are able to learn to rely on themselves and to suffer the natural consequences of whatever their actions are. So as parents, we all need to kind of step back, trust that you have taught them the basic fundamentals of life, and then let them find their way. And if your child is relying on you too much, the best thing that you can do is to just listen. Don't try to fix it. You can ask them, what are they going to do about the problem? What are their thoughts? What have they tried? And this is a good time to really brainstorm with them. But let them come to their own conclusions. Put the responsibility to manage the situation in their hands. What this will do is it will build self-confidence, and when they see that you believe that they can figure this out on their own, then they're going to be reassured too. The truth is all they need is a little reassurance. They don't need to be rescued. And lastly, I think what I would say is give them time to adjust. Make the transitions that they need to make to be in college, to be away from their parents and family. And this is a time for parents to have a little bit of faith. They will find their way. I'm Kimberly Taylor, and you're listening to KZSB AM 1290. Today, we've been talking about practicing gratitude. And as you train your mind to look for the positive moments in your life, you will begin to see the impact it has on your overall mental health. You will become one of those people who is 25% happier. So try it. Keep a list or a journal for 30 days, writing down what you are grateful for. And I guarantee you will start to feel better because your mind will start to adjust and it will start to look for the good that is out there instead of the bad. So explore ways to see your world differently. Let your eyes see something new and practice the art of gratitude by finding the positive elements that always exist. Suspend disbelief. Take a leap of faith, for it is the details of life that beauty is revealed. And let your mind take you there. You can change the way you feel by choosing what you focus on. Genuine happiness can only be realized if we commit to really making it a personal priority in our lives. And this means to search for it and find it in the everyday nuances of our daily lives. So don't wait for the day when or if. Find it now and let it fill you with happiness today. I would love to hear from you, and I welcome your comments about the show along with your questions. You can email me at drkim@drkimtaylorshow.com. We also have this thing going on about a conversation on Twitter, and you can do that at Dr. Kim Taylor Show. So here are several ways that you can tune in to the Dr. Kim Taylor Show. Of course, you can listen here at KZSB AM 1290 every Thursday afternoon at 2 p.m., or you can listen to the program on the internet by going to my website at drkimtaylorshow.com. And if you want to listen to any past shows, you can find them on my website. And now I've just made them available as podcasts to download on iTunes. And it's all free, so check it out. There's no excuse for not tuning in. Oh, and of course, there's one more way that these shows can be heard again in the rebroadcast, Thursdays at 10 p.m. and Sundays at noon. I also want to let you know that if you couldn't call in today, if this isn't a good time for you to do that, there is a chance for you to reach me this coming Sunday, when I am going to be taking more of your phone calls and answering your questions. So you can check out on my website for information on how to contact me on that day. And again, that's drkimtaylorshow.com. So as we close, I definitely want to express my deep felt gratitude. This is the time, this is the season that to reach out and to let those who you do care about, who do mean something to you, just let them know. Because yes, I am very thankful. I'm thankful for Sandy Jacoy, my screener here, and of course, Richard Dugan. Thank you both for all your help. I really couldn't do this show without you. And I want to say thank you to my own family and friends that love and support me each and every day. I'm so grateful for your presence in my life. You are quite a group of people, and I love having you in my life. So join me again next Thursday afternoon at 2. In fact, let's make it a date. Write it in your calendar, tell your friends. And while you're at it, make some notes about what you would like to talk about and give me a call next Thursday afternoon. Meanwhile, have a great week, and let me leave you with this. Be good to yourself. Take a few moments in your day to reflect on what you are grateful for. Come from a place of gratitude. And remember, no one else has to change in order for you to get better.